Welcome back to the Upstate Pulse. By the way, could not get the Facebook Live working, but we are streaming live on YouTube right now. So go to our our YouTube channel, which is the Upstate Pulse on YouTube, and we're streaming live on
YouTube.com/Upstate Pulse.
I believe so. It says you are. It says you are live. Although it just went yellow. I don't know what that means.
YouTube.com/ Is it Upstate Pulse or the Upstate Pulse? Do you know? I'm just going to put Upstate Pulse.
It's the Upstate Pulse.
Okay. The Upstate Pulse.
By the way, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Yeah, we are still on the radio. And
that page isn't available.
We are going to get to a phone call in just a second. But first, I want to tell you what we got coming up. We are going to be talking wrestling as well as the Nerd Roundtable. A couple things happening major in wrestling that we're going to get to.
If you search for the Upstate Pulse, you can find it. It's the first thing that comes up.
So we are live on YouTube. I'm seeing it right now on Chris's picture.
3 people are watching.
Wow. So anyway.
So far, so good.
So if you want to see us do YouTube Live, we are on YouTube Live right now. And if this is the first time you're just going through and you're like, who is that? Well, we are the Upstate Pulse from 106.3 WORD. All right.
Which, by the way, if you guys have any questions and you are watching on YouTube,
put
them up there.
Put them in the comments. Patrick's got it up, and he's going to read them. But right now, we have somebody who's called in. David says that he knows about Queen Anne's lace. Welcome to the show, David. Doing well. How are you, sir? Glad to hear it. Did they now? I had not heard that before. Fair enough. Well, why wouldn't you trust them?
I have a question, David. So you said you used the seed as a contraceptive. How was it applied? Okay. All right. That's interesting. So you don't rub it on anything. That's just making sure, because that probably not be good. Okay. What was it? What was the name of the publication you got that out of? Cool.
Well, thanks very much, David. It's always interesting to learn about something like that. Appreciate you listening and taking the time to call in.
Appreciate it, man.
I did, during the break, I showed Patrick a picture of Queen Anne's lace and a picture of giant hogsweed. And pretty similar, would you say? The flowers are very similar.
Very close.
Now, I did find a couple of other pictures, and I have encountered Queen Anne's lace. We used to have some growing in my yard when I was growing up. It's not a big plant. It doesn't get particularly tall. Apparently, giant hogsweed gets very tall. So that's how you can tell the difference. If it's a tall plant, maybe steer clear of it.
Well, now we know.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want any of that.
I was about to say that, Chris.
I'm surprised that Patrick knows that, being a millennial. You know about the Joe?
I know about the Joe.
He knows about the Joe. All right. He also
Channing
knows...
Tatum, right?
I was going to say, there were movies that came out during his lifetime.
Yeah, you're right. The live action. I didn't think about that. One good one, one horrible one.
I thought they were both terrible, but
I thought the first one was good. They killed off Channing Tatum in the second one. And
brought The Rock.
And there were no weigh-ins in the second one. I mean, you still had Snake Eyes. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, if I recall, was actually played by Ray Park, who also played Darth Maul. And Toad.
Yes, in the X-Men 3, was it?
No, the first X-Men.
Was he in the first one?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that.
Yep, it was the very first one.
I thought it was later. I thought it was one of the sequels.
It was not, but
okay.
I'm sure you're good at.
I'm
sure you. So you're not going to check me on it.
I don't care.
Okay, good for
you.
you.
They probably will.
You know what? You would have time right now because now it's time for a little bit of wrestling.
Oh well, then I will.
By the way, what an amazing match.
Except for the outcome.
Oh, come on.
I listen, Ricochet should not be coming in and stealing the Dream's time.
Velveteen Dream is just... He's a treasure.
Move him up, WWE.
No, don't
Put
move him up.
Move him
Don't.
up. Move him up.
No, because then you're just going to be mad if, like, the same thing happens to him.
As long as he's not, being overshadowed by some upstart named Ricochet. Look, I'm an acrobat. Look what I can do. I can flip. Good for you. All right. A couple things in wrestling news, including some sad news, as Big Van Vader, known as his real name Leon White, has died this week. Died at 63. One of the scariest big men. I mean, when I was younger, seeing him, I could not stand him because I was a big Sting fan.
Yeah.
And I hated the things he did to Sting. But he also did some things that big men in wrestling did not do at the time. I mean, he top ropes, lots of acrobatic things that bigger guys were not supposed to be able to do, because a big man's supposed to come in, he's supposed to overpower people and do things that way. Big boots, leg drops, that kind of stuff. Not the kind of things that Vader did. And he did a lot of cool stuff. He had been in poor health for a while, so our condolences to his family.
Can I just say, one of the coolest ring gears, like, to go into the ring
especially
with.
The mask.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Like, whenever he was with New Japan and WCW, where he had the mask and it was kind of steaming and stuff like that, that just screamed, I'm going to hurt you. You should be afraid of me.
Yeah, and you know what? His persona, he came off as a very mean guy, but from what I understand, he was not in real life.
No.
So, I mean, again, it's acting. We realize that.
Yeah.
And some of those guys are completely other than their character. And from what I understand, some of the guys are really, really like the guy they portray. Speaking of which, one of those guys has been fired. We found out earlier in the week that Big Cass was let go.
Yeah.
And have wondered why he was let go. And
there's multiple speculations.
the speculation is that he got in a scene with his ex-girlfriend Carmella, who's the champ in SmackDown, and grabbed her arm. And fellow wrestlers had to intervene. And, you can't do that. You cannot, especially when you're 7 foot tall, and she is not. We shouldn't do it anyway, but it makes it even worse. Especially that they used to be together and all that kind of stuff. And,
the report was it was a multiple things. It was the
he also beat up a small guy.
It was beat up the small guy, but also on the European tour, he would drink heavily and be in the back of the bus and just basically making a havoc. He also broke down a bathroom door on the bus, and this was kind of the final straw in WWE's eyes. And I think they just was like, you know what? He's not really doing anything for us right now. Might as well end it.
And he also has a 90-day no-compete clause. So not only was he let go, but he can't do anything right now.
No, he can. It just can't be televised.
Okay, all right.
So he can't go on like Ring of Honor or New Japan or anything like that. But the thing is, he can just go to a house show, independent circuit, and social media might be there, but as long as it's not televised, they don't care.
So anyway, Big Cass is gone. Let's face it, they had no program for him.
No.
When Enzo was let go, even though they were working against each other, I thought they would reconcile eventually. I think part of the problem was the Hardys coming back, because Enzo and Cass were getting a pretty big push. The Hardys came back, and that kind of killed all that.
Yep.
They didn't know what to do with them. Then Enzo had his incident. He was let go. Cass was on there and had no idea what to do with him. He got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and does a program against Daniel Bryan just to get Daniel Bryan over it. But he didn't need that.
No.
He did not need that, but that's fine. It sucks when you see promising talent that can't handle life and they do stupid things and they get let go. Okay, speaking of someone who was doing it right, whether you like them or not, from what I understand, and that is Sami Zayn, who has been working with one messed up rotator cuff, and then he tore the other one. So he has recently had surgery on both rotator cuffs, and he's done for the year more than likely. Probably won't see him. He's hoping to be back by WrestleMania next year.
Which really sucks for him, because I really do like Sami Zayn. I think he's one of the best wrestlers on WWE. It just sucks that this is the second injury he had to his shoulders. I
didn't like the program with Lashley, because I don't like Lashley that much. Lashley he's a huge guy, and I realized he had a following when he left.
He's a better heel.
He's just his vocal skills are not that good, and
No.
he needs to be someone who just doesn't talk and just beats people up. So
Honestly, I think the ideal scenario, he beats Lesnar, Heyman joins Lashley. I think that's the best option for him.
That could happen. It is a possibility. So, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, whether you like them or not, they're a gold together.
They were entertaining.
With each other and against each other. They were very, very good. So he's gone for a while.
Yep.
Which makes me, we're going to get to something that Chris is very interested in. If you're watching on YouTube Live, by the way, Facebook Live couldn't get it to work, but we are on YouTube Live. You've seen Chris just with his back turned the entire time. That's fine.
And his mic's been off.
I've been reading. First of all, I read about Ray Park, who is not to be confused with Ray Parker Jr.
Yes.
Entirely different person.
Yes. Completely different.
You were absolutely correct. It was the original X-Men that he was in as Toad, which came out just following the Phantom Menace, like the year after Phantom Menace, where he was in as Darth Maul. And I think that was what confused me, is that it was the next movie that he did. I thought it was a sequel, but it wasn't.
Yeah, he was in a lot of things for a while there.
Yeah, kind of a bunch. He
still is, because he's a martial artist and he's in a lot of roles that are stunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also been in quite a lot of things that you have never heard of before.
Yeah.
So, but
he's a working actor.
He's a working actor. He's best known for, as you said, X-Men, Phantom Menace, and the G.I. Joe movies.
Okay, which one would you think he's more famous for? You got to go Darth Maul.
Yeah, I think certainly not X-Men. Maybe I would put G.I. Joe second. Because Snake Eyes is a very recognizable character. But yeah, Darth Maul is going to be top of the list.
All right, one last wrestling story before we take our break. Ronda Rousey was suspended, and Chris wants to know why. Why was she suspended, Patrick? I believe she was suspended because she's getting ready to go into the UFC Hall of Fame.
Well, she was suspended because she hit general manager Kurt Angle.
Listen, it was very good. She flipped him, which was a good flip.
Judo flip.
Yeah.
Great.
And then she beat up a bunch of security guys, referees. She beat up a bunch of people, and it's very good. And I still don't think she knows how to pull her punches yet.
I don't think so
when that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That she is fighting for real,
but it looks very fluid
in an industry where you're not supposed to fight at all.
But the thing is,
it looked really good, by the way.
What makes me excited is that this is the perfect thing to do for her character, for Ronda Rousey. This is the perfect thing to do. And I want her to kind of, even though she's suspended, be around. Do something to kind of just interfere a little bit, like even just be in the crowd.
Well, in order for her to reunite with the four horsewomen of UFC, she's going to have to go heelish. She's going to have to, and there's going to be a program. Now that they're all in the WWE, Shayna Baszler is the NXT champion, and the other two are in there too. They just showed her last week on showed them last week on NXT. So it's just a matter of time. They're going to do a WrestleMania program with the four of them. So she is going to have to. I guess she doesn't have to be heelish. She just has to be like a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's perfect.
Which is kind of
show up
the
and
anti-hero type.
Exactly. Thing. Just have her show up and just.
Anti-face.
Yeah, well, it's somewhere in between. It just depends on her mood that day. She just beat everybody up. Good guy, bad guy, whatever. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to hit our oops, and we're going to hit the Nerd Roundtable. By the way, we're not on Facebook Live right now, but we are on our YouTube Live channel. So make sure that you check that out. And you probably didn't know, but the Upstate Pulse has a YouTube channel.
It does. And you've been posting videos of
I did
gaming sessions and stuff like that.
Things like that. Not only me, but Patrick's going to start posting some things, and who knows, maybe Chris will post something eventually. It's not social media.
It could happen.
It's YouTube.
Yes, I am much less opposed to being on YouTube than I am on Facebook.
Someday we'll figure out why he doesn't like Facebook and other things. It's a conspiracy. I know what you did last summer. I'm telling you, it has something to do with that. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
I was also reading about plants.
I'm sure you were reading about plants. Say hello to YouTube Live people.
Hi, YouTube.
I mean, this is our first time streaming live on YouTube Live.
This is very cool. And you know what?
Very nice to meet you.
It's serendipitous that we've gotten the chance to try this out because the Facebook thing wasn't working.
Yeah, very true.
So
Chris uses big words.
So I will be back.
Serendipity, baby. Hey, Dick Vitale used that word.
He did, but you and
This guy
serendipitous.
just pulls words out of his head. Okay.
He does do that. You're
That's where
absolutely
words
right.
come from.
That's very, very true.
That's
That
where they
is
come
true.
from.
It's very true. I'm just noticing that T-shirt. That is a great T-shirt. I like that T-shirt.
My wife got this for me when I turned 40.
That's cool.
This is sort of me.
Yeah. Well, the elder gamer. Even though I'm, a decade older than you almost. So.
You got is that the? Oh, that's the Punisher.
Yes. Yes, I am rocking the Punisher today, just because.
For a second, I thought it was the Joker, but then I was like, oh, there's not enough color in it.
I got one of those too.
Okay.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't know, we are a radio show in Greenville, South Carolina, also in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and the upstate.
Of South Carolina. In fact, we are on the Upstate's talk station.
We are award-winning.
Potentially
station.
future award-winning.
Yeah, well, possibly us. Yes, could be. So, yeah, we're up for Station of the Year, by the way, 106.3 WORD. So
and I'm back.
Yeah, and Patrick is now back. So we're experimenting with this, with the live thing and with the cameras and stuff like that.
We appreciate you going on this journey with us.
We do. And I originally was going to do YouTube Live first, but you have to wait a 24-hour period before they allow you to do it.
That's right, I remember you saying that.
And it would have.
So that's why we did Facebook last week.
Yeah, that's why we did Facebook.
Well, and I was just saying, it's an opportunity now. We were a little disappointed that Facebook Live wasn't working this time around. We still haven't figured that out. We have a couple of speculations.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're still narrowing it down. So we may definitely be back there.
We have an entire digital department who might actually be able to help us with some of this stuff.
But it gave us the opportunity to try Facebook Live, or to try
Oops
YouTube
Ready
Live,
and then Nerd Roundtable.
Yep.
And so here we are, and we appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, we do.
That's what I was making sure. Okay. That's what I did. I just wanted to confirm.
And again, if you're just stumbling upon this and like, oh, who are these guys? We are avid gamers, big into superhero movies,
and
all that.
On the far left is Chris Evans.
Yeah.
IMDb credit actor for the greatest anime, Miami Guns.
Miami Guns. Check it out. Check it out.
Which you can watch after this broadcast on YouTube.
You can, and you'll watch it over and over again.
So how great! The guy in the middle is Lonzo, not Alonzo. Lonzo. Okay.
Yes, that's me. That is me. You're right.
And he has lost a considerable amount of weight.
I did. I did.
That's a throwback.
That's a throwback.
Take a drink.
Yes, you just did. Of water.
I did. Well, I did.
Water, yes. And I am.
And this guy over here is Patrick, Flaccid Patrick, as he's known on this program. Not for any particular personal quality he has, but just because that word annoys him.
Are you sure? It's
no,
for
I'm not
personal
sure.
Quality.
But it's because
you're not sitting as close to him as I am. Well, actually, maybe you are.
We picked that word because.
Why are you looking down there, man?
So thank you, and
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I just wanted to reiterate Patrick's request that if you were watching on YouTube Live, you should put something in the comments because he's got the stream up and we can answer questions while we're going.
Say hi.
All right, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. You heard the Oops intro. We're going to get that in just a second. I'll let you know we are live on YouTube right now. The Upstate Pulse YouTube page. Check it out if you want to see what we're doing live in the studio on a Saturday night. It's a beautiful night out tonight. Thank you for taking us along with you while you're out and about. Yeah, I can see clearly now. The rain's going. Listen, I'm having a problem today.
No, you know what?
It's not necessarily a problem,
but don't consider it a problem. Consider it an opportunity.
Everything's coming up lyrics for me today.
Or roses.
During there's a song for that too.
I know.
Yeah,
I said it.
Gosh, I'm having one of those things. It reminds me of spending time on the dark side with LexCorp and with Snowman.
The other jocks.
Yes. Well, one is the boss and the other one's the boss of something else. But anyway, just hanging out over there and someone will mention a lyric and we'll go back and forth with songs. And it's just amazing.
It's fun, though.
Their knowledge of music, because they've been in the music business for a very, very long time because they're managing music radio stations. And I can hold my own for a while.
Yeah.
And
you know, it's
like all this knowledge that you build up. Yeah, I know this song, this song, this song, this song, and people were wild and amazed as I'm growing up, going, "Wow, how do you know every song on the radio?" And I was afraid to get into radio because, from what I understood, you had to take a lot of speech in college, and I didn't want to do that. I was going to college for.
I don't think I ever had any formal radio training.
Yeah, me either. Well, maybe a little bit. All right, so I was going for computer science, and my roommate for football was in there for radio. And we would have these conversations. We'd joke around and stuff. It's like, man, you got to get into radio. You got to do this. And I was like, okay, what class do you have to take? He's like, well, I have 5 speech classes in the next 2 years. Like, nope, not for me. I am not standing up in front of people and talking.
That's what I had to do.
But radio isn't necessarily about that. I mean, because we're sitting in here talking to each other.
Yes.
And
And
thousands
Facebook
You
Live.
just get to listen to it.
And
And YouTube.
Yeah, and thousands of people are listening across the upstate, online, and even on live on YouTube right now. So I played the Oops music. Let's get to our Oops. All right, Burger King has apologized for offering a lifetime supply of Whoppers to Russian women.
And like 3 million like rubies.
Rubies?
To Russian women impregnated by
Rubles?
World
What's their
Cup
currency?
players.
Rubles.
Rubles?
Yeah.
I didn't
I
find
don't
that
know
nearly
the
as
currency.
funny. Yeah, I don't know why I
Rubies
thought that was funny.
are gemstones.
Well, I know that.
So
I played
all
the
that-
Pokemon game.
all that aside, Burger King was offering a lifetime supply of Whoppers if Russian women got impregnated by soccer players.
To continue on the
The
legacy
gene pool, yes.
of
Yes.
great Russian soccer players.
Hoping, I suppose, to give birth to people who would then grow up to become soccer players and
Would continue their winning ways for their country.
ensure the Russian dominance
Yes.
of soccer.
Yes.
Which, if I'm
Like
correct,
they don't have plants in Siberia for something like that. I don't know. They gave an apology. We offer apologies for the announcement we made. It was too offensive.
Okay.
All right.
Well, here's the thing. I may
This
be
was made
incorrect
on
with this.
Twitter, wasn't it?
No, it's a Facebook post.
A Facebook post.
So
Social media.
But
So
I-
say said Russian woman was able to go through with this, would there be DNA testing after the baby was born to make sure that?
Well, see,
I mean,
this is-
how does that work?
This is kind of my point because this is something they just put up on social media. I don't feel like this rises. Well, let me rephrase that. I lament that this rises to the level of an announcement. It's not like they had, like normally if an organization does a contest, a commercial organization does a contest, they've got a huge list of rules and regulations that you have to comply with to qualify to be a contestant in whatever promotion they're doing. And this, they just made a comment on social media and everybody's taking it as though this is a thing that they're actually doing.
But this is, if I'm correct with this isn't the corporate Burger King that we know.
Right.
This is the Russian corporation, which basically just piggybacks off of Burger King.
It is,
Basically-
and the Burger King Corporation here in America
Right. They're the ones
constantly have to send out, the
Retraction.
views and opinions of Burger King Russia do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of
Burger King
America.
corporate.
Yeah, so they have to constantly do that.
So, like, everyone's getting an uproar about Burger King, but it's not the Burger King here.
Right.
Okay? Go get your terrible milkshakes.
And
Yes.
your delicious Whoppers.
Horrible.
And
horrible
your
motion.
decent cheesecake.
I still don't get that. I really
It's
don't get that.
fantastic.
You know what? Let's hit the nerd roundtable. Let's try to get to a couple stories real quick before we take our final break and the phone's ringing. By the way, if you want to be a part of the show, I'll tell you in a second.
I'll say, Paul, what's your topic? All right. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? All right, Richard, put you on hold.
All right, so there's a nerd roundtable intro. If you want to be a part of the show, 800-347-1063. Text line 71307. We are live on YouTube right now, the Upstate Pulse YouTube channel. Check that out. Make any comments you want to. Patrick is fielding your questions right now. Let me at least get a couple things out here. All right, Star Trek is about to have possibly 5 new shows.
Yeah. They've had some changes in the what they call the showrunners, the executive producers of the Discovery show that is only online at the moment. not actually on broadcast TV. But they've had some personnel changes, and then they one of the new people that they brought on has been working out a deal with CBS to produce more Star Trek TV shows, one of which is rumored to possibly have the return of one of my favorite Star Trek characters, Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Make it so. Please.
Absolutely.
Please make it so. Looking forward to see what they do with this, especially if they bring back Picard, because love Next Generation, love Picard, love Data. There's a couple I could do without Wesley, but he wasn't on later seasons anyway.
He's with the Traveler now.
Love Geordi. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to that coming back. Bring back Data. All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls and lightning round. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
Do you want to come back with lightning round?
Do you want to take a phone call?
What's the phone call about?
The Russian soccer
soccer
players.
Who is it?
Richard in Greenville.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Do you want me to come back with lightning round?
Come back with lightning round anyway. Just keep it low and we'll take his phone call as part of the lightning round. We can do that.
We can do that.
We can
It's our
do that.
show.
It is our show. We can do that. And, man, there are so many things that we're not going to do.
No.
But we can stay an extra
That's
5
okay.
minutes and just talk on YouTube Live
Sure, we could.
if we wanted to.
Lucky you. You get extra stuff.
We could do that.
While I finish up podcasts. There we
We
go.
could do that
Keep me company.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that idea.
for just a couple of minutes. Just a couple of things that we can fill out.
I do have some extra work to do in the office, but I can do that.
I didn't say we're going to stay 3 hours.
No.
You know, it's just a little.
We
bit.
have
We can do that.
a whole nother show after this.
We could.
We could.
Yeah, with the
With
amount of
as much
stuff we didn't get to.
as we have to talk about. Yeah, we absolutely could.
That's fine.
Okay, so you watch all of the next 2 Takeover, right?
Yes.
Overall opinions.
I'm still upset over a Velveteen Dream was it. I love the Nikki Cross and Shayna
That was a
Baszler
great
match.
match.
I wish Nikki would have won.
Obviously.
I knew she wouldn't, but still it was pretty good. Just the whole crazy thing. I think Baszler has improved as far as
Psychology in the ring.
yeah. She genuinely looked
Afraid.
or puzzled at least. Like what the heck is this girl doing type thing.
Yeah.
And Nikki's just so good at looking crazy. She might actually be crazy. I don't know.
Black was a great match. I thought
It
Black
was.
was good. And Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah.
That stole the show.
But you knew it would. But
Yeah.
that's got to end eventually. And by the way, the thing that I speculated on our podcast about the whole women thing,
Yeah.
The white thing, it looked like it might be heading that way. All right, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse here on 106.3 WORD and live on YouTube right now. We've got time to squeeze in a couple things, including a phone call.
Yes, this is the first time we've ever taken a phone call during the lightning round. So, Richard, keep it quick. Tell us about Russian soccer players. Oh, yeah. Trying to get him some dates, huh? That's like the best wingman ever. I gotcha. Thanks very much for the call, Richard.
Yeah, I think Richard's exactly right. I wish
that's
we would have thought of that.
Very clever, Richard. Very clever. What else do we have for the lightning round?
Although I'm not sure, I don't know if a soccer player on the rest would have a friend at Burger King, but he might, though.
You never know.
He
He also
might.
wouldn't think he'd have trouble getting women.
Very true. But I would say, have you seen Russian women? But that's not
true.
That's not true. I know. We have a lot of Russian women who have moved to the upstate for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Star Wars, there's a petition out to have Force Awakens remade. Someone supposedly has $2 million, $200 million to remake Force Awakens the way they want it. And
How do they want it? I mean, I'm not saying it was perfect, but what are you going to do differently?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what the what the director said. He's like,
Yeah.
you go right ahead. You go right ahead. And we've talked about a little bit of UFC and some other guys. Seth Rogen, you guys know Seth Rogen.
I do.
He
Not
told
personally, know of him.
well, you're an actor, so I thought maybe. All right, told the group that he was confused about their ambitions. I'm very confused as to what your goal is here. You literally want to spend $200 million remaking The Last Jedi, and someone is giving you that money. I don't get it. Okay,
Wait,
based on
Last Jedi or Force Awakens?
Last Jedi.
Okay.
Did I say Force? I
Yeah.
You said Force
Last
Awakens
Jedi.
the first time.
Yeah, you did.
I meant Last Jedi.
Which is even more confusing because
It's a lightning
All right,
round, okay?
all right,
He's getting
all right,
big mixed
listen.
up.
that's
Listen.
okay. I'm fine. I want to make sure we're
All
talking
right.
about the right movie.
Let's get to
But
the corrections
Last Jedi
after
was
this.
even better.
Let's get to corrections after this. A lot of people hated The Last Jedi.
Why?
Okay, based
It's
on
great.
the main complaints I've seen from fans, I guess most of the film would be Snoke giving a 30-minute monologue explaining his backstory while Luke does cool crap with a lightsaber in the background. People are unhappy.
Yes.
The Star Wars nerds are unhappy with how Luke acted in it. They thought he shouldn't act the way he did. There's been whining and complaining about it when he's just basically being Ben Kenobi. And really, he's being Luke. Luke was whining and complaining when he was a kid. That's only going to get... I mean, did he find some peace with the Jedi? Yeah, but he's...
In Return of the Jedi, he was a little.
But he's been a hermit for how
I
long?
know.
You're going to go back to bad habits when you do that, when you're just living by yourself and when you're milking whatever those things are to drink that. That would probably mess with you a little bit. So they just need to let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah,
and
seriously,
man,
Last
why
Jedi was a good movie.
why that song? All these songs. That's not a song I want to end with. All right, another Star Trek story. Star Trek versus Transformers comic book.
No.
It's intriguing.
Uh,
It's the Kirk Star Trek.
okay.
I'm good. I'll pass.
Interesting.
Yes.
Kelvin universe or original universe? The reboot universe or the original universe?
The original universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no reason that you couldn't have that kind of a crossover. I mean, there's no reason that Kirk and the crew couldn't encounter Transformers on their journey through space. So, yeah, I could see it. I don't know what it would be about, but I don't doubt that they could write a good story with that concept.
Maybe.
Very, very true. What?
Is it maybe?
Yep. Okay. All right. So
Willing to consider the idea.
here's the thing. That's it for this hour. Thanks for all the phone calls. Thanks for the text. Sorry about the technical glitches that we had on
Yeah,
Facebook
decent
Live, but
crap.
we made it onto YouTube. Some of you are still watching. Thank you.
And we're going to be there after the show
Yeah.
is over.
We got a few more things to talk about, including something that has to do with Stranger Things. But for all of you that's just listening on the air, hey, get off the air and get on YouTube and watch the rest
Go
of
to
the
your
show.
computer right now.
Do it. You need to do it, and we'll talk to you guys next week in the Upstate Pulse.
Oh, I knocked my camera. Sorry. I swing the mic whenever I'm done with the talking.
All right, so that is it for that show, but we're still live. Hopefully you're picking this up on YouTube Live. Something about Stranger Things, which I mentioned. Stranger Things comic book.
I think I heard about this. I think it's a great idea.
It is a Dark Horse comic book, which they do a lot of
Yeah.
indie type stuff.
Yes.
And I'm actually looking forward to it because what it's doing is it's
Is it telling a new story?
it's telling what happened to Will while he's in the Upside Down.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
they find him eventually, but you don't know what happens to
Yeah.
him while he's in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what happened to Barb when she was in there,
Yes.
and somehow Will was able to elude things. Who knows? Maybe they'll explain that about Barb a little bit too.
Who knows?
It's a limited run series, but who knows? Maybe it will pick up and go over even better. We'll try to get our buddy Rob Young from Borderlands on to talk about that a little bit. It comes out in September, I believe, and so looking forward to picking that up. Let's see. Yeah,
Yep.
September 26th is when that comic book comes out. Also,
It looks good. Like I like the concept of it's intriguing.
Yeah.
they're making a new Ninja Turtles. Why?
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
a movie? Comic
Another
book?
movie. Yes,
Okay.
another movie. There's been several different series on
You know
Nickelodeon
what?
and other things. The last one I was very disappointed in.
I'll tell you why. That's why.
Yeah.
Because the story, the concept, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, still very popular. among kids and adults alike. But if they don't have something that they can really, rest on in terms of their laurels, like if they produce things that are bad, you want to end on a high note. You want to end on something good.
Here's the problem with it. I think they made it too kid friendly. The second one,
maybe.
And I was as a Stephen Amell fan, because I'm a big Stephen Amell fan from Arrow. There's a lot of build up about him being Casey Jones, and then he didn't do anything like what Stephen Amell would do. I know you get the character and the actor mixed, but Casey Jones is a very physical character. Yes. And Stephen Amell is capable of doing those things.
And ragey, too.
Yeah, and they never used him to do that. And I was disappointed about that. I was okay with Sheamus. I thought Sheamus did a good job. I forget if he was Bebop or Rocksteady, whichever one he was. I thought he did a good job. But, I bought the first one because I really liked it. I didn't even buy the second one. And I usually, if I like a movie, I buy it. But I didn't buy it because I was very, very disappointed in it after all the build-up. And I think most of it stems from what I expected from Stephen Amell, and it did not happen. All right, there's going to be a Child's Play TV series. Why and why
good.
not?
Well, I'm good.
Okay, fair enough. Here's
the
thing.
That was like the first movie that truly terrified me.
They've done TV series of other horror franchises. You had a Friday the 13th TV series. You had a Nightmare on Elm Street TV series. There have been other horror-type TV series, Tales from the Crypt.
And they were all along those lines. Even the Friday 13th was more like a collecting artifacts type thing. It wasn't really Jason.
I don't think it's particularly far-fetched to do that. I do wonder how much Jennifer Tilly's going to be in it. But I don't know.
Do you want her to be in it more? Or you
I don't know.
Okay.
I kind of feel like she took that over, and it kind of became the Jennifer Tilly show. Not that I hate Jennifer Tilly, but it just, I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Small doses. Anyway, I could see it working. I am going to reserve judgment.
All right. Steam has a big time sale going on right now, by the way.
Yes, it does.
Like over 1,000 games. I was on there last night. I spent $6 and bought 6 games. I bought Dungeon Siege 1, 2, and 3. And I bought...
which are good games.
They are. Things that my computer wouldn't play anymore, but they'll play on Steam. I bought Divine Divinity, Beyond Divinity, and Divine Divinity 2. Now, Divine Divinity 2 made me really mad, so mad that I took the game back, even though I had traded a bunch because I hated the ending. But there is a director's cut, which I never even went back and played, but that's the one I downloaded.
Okay.
Because the ending of that game made me so mad.
Is there anything worse than a game with a bad ending?
Yeah, it just...
it's different than a movie with a bad ending. You
True.
watch something like Looper, and it's a good movie all the way through until right at the end, and you're like, oh, come on, guys, you could have done something better than that. But then you play, that's 2 hours that you're not going to get back. You play a game with a bad ending, that's like 30, 40, sometimes hundreds of hours that you are never getting back. One of the worst ones for me was Golden Sun. It was one of the games that I had on my Game Boy Advance. That's how old it is. I had it on my Game Boy Advance. It was kind of a typical JRPG, top down, very Final Fantasy, that kind of thing. And there's this whole thing about there's a princess that's been kidnapped, and you got to go save her, and there's these it's like 4 towers that you have to go visit that are related to the elements. There's earth, air, fire, water, wind. Yeah, earth, air, fire, water. And you gotta release the power of each one to be able to break the seal on the princess's prison or whatever. And you go and do the first one, and it's hard, and you beat the boss, and it's great. Let's go and do the next one. You go and do the next one. He's like, fine, we've got 2 more towers to go. Credits.
Really?
Yeah. The game stops in the middle of the story, and the whole thing was that you have to go buy the sequel to finish the story. I was like, there is no way I am buying that sequel. I was pissed. I was irritated.
That is messed up. Okay, a couple more things. Star Wars stories have been put on hold as far as the one-offs because of how poorly Solo did.
Yeah, I heard about this, and on the one hand, I understand it. If you think that you are making a bad investment, you don't want to throw good money after bad, and so I get that. but also from a movie production standpoint. I mean, we just talked about Ninja Turtles. They made a good movie, and then they made a bad movie. And now they're going to make another movie, ostensibly to try and redeem it, or just because they think there's an audience for it, a market for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that a single bad movie, a single bad performance of a movie in the box office is enough to justify scrapping an entire series.
It wasn't that bad of a movie either.
Right. But it didn't do well. And part of the problem, we've talked about this off the air, part of the problem, I think, is not that the movie didn't make enough money, but that it cost too much to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it made something close to $200 million, I think, in the box office, but it cost like $250 to $300 million to make. And if they had dropped that down, they could have at least broken even, and if maybe made some money on it, and then it wouldn't have been a disaster.
And by the way, I like the movie. So
right.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I'm not saying anything about the content of the movie because I haven't seen it, but I'm just saying from a mathematics perspective, a business perspective, that thing cost too much to make, and that's why it lost money.
All right, 3 more stories, and then we're going to finish this thing up. It, Chapter 2, made a couple more casting choices. They casted Xavier Dolan to play Adrian Mellon, which, if you read the book, Adrian Mellon was, a very minor part of the beginning of the book. And so it'd be interesting if they're going to expand that character.
It's been so long since I read the book.
And,
I've been alive longer after reading the book than I was before it.
Okay.
So.
And Will Beinbrink will play Tom Rogan. I think Tom Rogan has to be.
That name sounds familiar.
Tom Rogan has to be a pain in the butt because he's the one who's married to or boyfriend of Beverly Marsh and beats her and all that kind of stuff. And she just tears him up before she goes. And hopefully in the movie, she will do a lot more than what happened in the TV miniseries. All right, we already know who's going to be in it. James McAvoy, Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain. You got some big names going to be in this movie. Looking forward to it. And not only that, they're remaking Pet Cemetery, and talking about remaking Tommyknockers.
Interesting.
Also in theaters, something that will interest Patrick, because Patrick and I are big Dragon Ball Z fans, is that
DBZ movie not made by M. Night Shyamalan?
Okay, Fathom Events.
Or was that Ang Lee? That was Ang Lee.
I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
It was still pretty. I think it might have been Ang Lee. Fathom Events is going to put a couple remastered DBZ movies in theaters.
Awesome.
I don't know if you're going to be interested in going. I mean, you're rocking the DBZ shirt right now, and I normally do.
Got my Goku swag.
The first one is Dragon Ball Z Broly.
Oh.
It's remastered, and they're going to put, not Bio Broly,
I know,
but Broly. I know, I just wanted to point that out. And that will be in theaters September 15th and 17th.
I probably will go to that.
Then it's a DBZ double feature of Bardock and Fusion Reborn.
I like the Bardock one.
So did I.
A lot.
You didn't like Fusion Reborn? That's Janemba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan. Maybe I have to rewatch it again because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I might have to rewatch it again. Plus, we got the trailer for the new...
For Heroes, which I didn't talk about a whole lot because I don't know a lot about it yet.
It's basically... Imagine Xenoverse, and it's like an anime for Xenoverse.
Okay.
It's kind of like a way to tie over fans for a little bit while they're making the movie and stuff like that. It's just basically like, all right, this is an alternate universe because what we're getting, and I'm super excited for, is Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan God Blue Goku. Which, yes, because now we get to see which is the strongest form. Because there's been a lot of speculation because Goku still has the 8 form of Super Saiyan 4 that maybe he is still physically stronger than God form. So...
Well, we're going to find out with that coming up. We have one more story.
By the way, I was thinking of The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay.
Which is a different anime.
Oh, yeah.
Still terrible.
See, there you go.
All right.
Still terrible.
I promised on the outline Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, and I got to hear about this.
And
Dreamcast is a highly underrated console. Are they getting it like a classic version, like the stuff Nintendo?
All right, I would zoom in on Chris's picture. Chris is the guy with the beard, so make sure you check this out. Sega is
That close
producing scented candles that look like the Dreamcast
What?
and Mega Drive consoles. And they want fans to tell them what the system should smell like. The company didn't say if the fan suggestions
Cheetos.
will actually determine the scent of the
Cheetos.
final products, but the person who makes Sega's favorite suggestion will receive both candles for free.
Cheetos.
Sega announced the candles in the contest on the Sega Forever Facebook page. Commenters on the post have already come up with some fun suggestions,
Pork rinds.
including hot plastic and
Hot plastic.
and chili dogs.
Also-
it's melting.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys know it, today is Sonic's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sonic. All right. We will get better with this as we go along.
Come on.
We will.
Candles?
Yes, it was candles.
Candles?
It was candles.
That's
Thank
what we
you,
made you wait for.
Thank you for staying around and watching this. And
Disappointed.
we will improve. We will expand.
almost
We will
as
do
bad
all the
as
things we do.
We will
Upstate
get better.
Pulse. Listen online if you want to hear the entire show.
It's now on the
1063
podcast.
WORD.com. Yeah, or
The
check
full
out the
show's up
podcast.
there.
It's already up on the air. Thank you, and see you next week.
Bye, guys. I can get no satisfaction.
Sounds like a person.
That's like the anime theme music for Dragon Ball Z Super in Japanese. There's like this whole like it's all